Hello friends, welcome back to sagalavidya.com and myself Shivramakrishna Sharma. So, in today's session, we're going to have a brief discussion on the various types of loads on a roof truss. The various types of loads on a roof truss. So, for example, if I want to design any structure, whether it is an RCC or a steel structure, this topic plays an important role. So whether structure is RCC, a reinforced concrete structure, or a steel structure, these loads play an important role in designing this structure. So that is the reason why this topic is an important for our engineers. So let us see what are the different types of loads on a roof truss. So in order to design any structure, the first load is dead load. Second one, live load or imposed load. Third one, snow load. Fourth, wind load. So this dead load is also called as self-weight of the structure. Self-weight of the structure. So what are the different types of loads on a structure? Dead load, live load or imposed load, snow load, and the last one is wind load. Let us have a discussion on dead load. So in order to design dead load of a structure, so we must have a code book, that is IS 875 1987 part 1. So if you see clearly here, we're going to follow the specifications given by Indian Standard Code of Practice for Design of Loads other than earthquake for the building and structures. So part 1 is specially meant for designing of dead loads. So for dead load, so we must follow the code book IS 875 part 1 1987. So this is a code book that we have to refer for designing dead loads. So dead load, as I told you in our previous session, dead load is nothing but self-weight of the structure. So as per Indian Standard 875 1987 part 1 is useful for designing of dead load. So the following are the loads per square meter of a plan area may be used in design. So these values were obtained from our code book, that is IS 875 1987 part 1. So what is the dead load for roof covering? If it is in the case of GI sheets is nothing but galvanized iron sheets. The value of dead load lies between 100 to 150 Newton per meter square. So in a similar fashion, for AC sheets, what's the meaning of AC sheets? Asbestos cement sheet. The value of dead load should be 120 to 156 Newton per meter square. So this value is obtained from our code book. Next, for purlins, what is meant by purlins? Purlins are nothing but beam of a roof truss. So the value of purlin should be 100 to 120 Newton per meter square. For a truss, where W is equal to weight of a truss, where W is nothing but weight of a truss, where L is nothing but span of a truss in meters. Unit should be in meters. So for a truss, the formula to calculate dead load is nothing but L by 3 plus 5 into 10 Newton per meter square. For example, the length of a span is 6 meters. So what is the formula to calculate dead load? L by 3 plus 5 into 10. So in the place of L, you have to substitute this value, that is 6. So for roof covering, galvanized iron sheets, the value of dead load is nothing but it lies between 100 to 150 Newton per meter square. For asbestos cement sheet, it is 120 to 156 Newton per meter square. So for purlin members, its value is 100 to 120 Newton per meter square. For a truss, the formula will be, for a truss, the formula for dead load will be L by 3 plus 5 into 10 Newton per meter square, where L is nothing but span of the truss. L is nothing but span of the truss. So this formula is useful for finding dead load of the truss. So in order to find dead load of truss, we must follow the code book IS 875 part 1 1987. So second load, that is nothing but live load. Live load is also called as imposed load. So live load is also called as imposed load. So for this we have to refer the code book, that is IS 875 1987 part 2. So for live load you have to refer the code book IS 875 1987 part 2. So this is a code book that we have to refer for live load. So Indian Standard Codebook of Practice for Design Loads other than earthquake for buildings and structures. So part 2 for imposed loads. So in this we must remember page number 14, table number 2. So this table number 2 plays an important role in order to find live load of a structure. So my dear students, please try to memorize this page number 14, table number 2. So in order to find different types of live load of this structure, we must refer table number 2, which is present in page number 14. Okay, let me make it clear. So live load on a roof, table number 2. The imposed loads on a various types of roofs. So here this table is found in page number 14. Here we are going to have 3 different columns. The first one is type of a roof, uniform distributed imposed load measured on the plan area. Next, minimum imposed load measured on the plan. So case 1. In the case of flat or sloping or curved roof, within 10 degrees, we have to take live load as 1.5 kilonewton per meter square. So in that again, second one, excess not provided except for maintenance, we have to take the live load as 0.75 kilonewton per meter square. So second one, sloping roof with slope greater than 10 degrees, for roof members we have to take the formula as 0.7 minus 0.52 gamma square into kilonewton per meter square. So please don't get confused. In this, third point will play an important role. So remember this third point other than first and second one. So what is that? Let us have a look. So in our table number 2, as I told you, which is present in page number 14, you have to remember third point. Third point plays an important role. So what is there in that third point? If you observe clearly, it is very clear that live load should be 0.75 minus theta minus 10 into 20 Newton per meter square. So let me write clearly. So for example, if the slope of a truss, for example, if the slope of a truss is greater than 10 degrees, for example, if the slope is greater than 10 degrees, then the formula to calculate live load is nothing but 750 minus theta minus 10 degrees into 20 Newton per meter square. So according to our clause number 3, it should be greater than or equal to 0.4 kilonewton per meter square. It should be greater than or equal to 0.4 kilonewton per meter square or 400 newton per meter square. So let me make you a clear picture of this. So if this is our truss whose slope is greater than 10 degrees, so what is the formula to calculate a live load? So live load is nothing but 750 minus theta minus 10 degrees into 20, where it should be greater than or equal to 400 newton per meter square. So this value or this formula we have obtained from page number 14, table number 2. If the value is less than 10 degrees, you have to again refer this page number 14, table number 2. So live load on a truss. So before having a discussion on live load on a truss, so we must have a clear knowledge on what is the formula to calculate live load on a roof. So we must have a clear knowledge on live load on a roof. So please don't get confused. This is a live load on a roof, and this one is, second one is live load on a truss. So both the formulas are different. So the live load on a roof, the formula as I told you in a previous case is nothing but 750 minus theta minus 10 degrees into 20 Newton per meter square, which should be greater than or equal to 400 Newton per meter square. So this is a formula to calculate live load on the roof. Whereas now we are going to deal live load on a truss. So what is the formula for that? It simply is nothing but 2/3 times of live load on a roof. 2/3 times of live load on a roof. So I will make you clear, don't worry. Live load on a roof. Second one is live load on a truss. So the live load on a roof, according to our page number 14, the formula is nothing but 750 minus theta minus 10 degrees into 20. It should be greater than or equal to 400 Newton per meter square. Whereas the live load on a truss, is equal to 2/3 times of live load on a roof. Both the formulas are different. For roof, it is 750 minus theta minus 10 degrees into 20, whereas the live load on a truss is nothing but 2/3 times of live load on the roof. So what is the formula for live load on a roof? Simply our equation 1. Nothing but again 2/3 times of 750 minus theta minus 10 degrees into 20. So this live load on a roof must be equal or greater than 400 per Newton per meter square, whereas this live load on a truss, it should not have, there is no condition that it should be equal to 400 per Newton per meter square. Only the live load on a roof, it should be greater than or equal to 400 per Newton per meter square. So in this case, there is no condition like that, whether it should be or it should not equal. So for live load, we have to follow the code book, that is IS 875 part 2. So what is the formula to calculate live load on a roof? First you remember this formula. On a roof, that is 750 minus theta minus 10 degrees into 20, where it should be greater than or equal to 400 per Newton per meter square. So this formula is found in page number 14, table number 2, clause number 3 or point number 3. So next, snow load. So for example, here I'm going to have a structure. What are the basic types of loads are going to act on a structure? The first one is, I think you know, that is dead load. Second, imposed loads or live load. Third one, wind load. In addition to that, in some places, snow gets accumulated on the top of the roofs. So in addition with these three loads, in some places, snow load also plays an important role. So in our country, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Sikkim are some of the regions where in order to design any structure, we must follow or we must use dead load, live load and wind load along with snow load. Other than that regions, we must omit this snow load. We should only use dead load or live load along with wind load. So for snow load, we must follow our Indian standard 875 part 4. So 875 part 4. So the Indian standard code of practice for design of loads other than earthquake for buildings and structure. So part 4 is completely meant or specially meant for designing snow loads. So the load due to snow depends upon pitch of the roof and shape of roofing material. So it depends upon pitch and shape of the roofing material. Usually snow load may be taken as 2.5 Newton per meter square for every 1 mm depth of the snow. For every 1 mm depth of the snow. For example, in the month of January, in a place of Jammu and Kashmir, if the depth is 1 mm, usually the load on the structure is 2.5 Newton per meter square. In the month of Feb, the depth increases to 10 mm, so you have to see what is the load we are going to get. So for every 1 mm depth of snow, the load is going to increase as 2.5 Newton per meter square. So this is an example for that. So when the roof of the slope is greater than 50 degrees, the snow load may be neglected. So remember, when the slope, if theta is greater than 50 degrees, the snow load may be neglected. So you are going to get all these three important points in our IS 875 part 4. IS 875 part 4. So our next topic, that is wind load. So my dear students, I'm going to make a separate video on wind load because in designing a structure, a steel structure, this wind load plays an important role. This wind load plays an important role. Along with your dead load, live load and snow load, this wind load plays an important role. That is the reason why I'm going to make a separate video on wind load. Thank you.